afternoon, good morning, good evening. Halfway through South by Southwest, I'm Ewan Spence, and the rest of this podcast is going to be brought to you by a gorgeous cup of coffee from Extended Stay America, which is where I'm living while I'm here in Austin for a week and a half, partly for the South by Southwest, but really it's just an excuse to write it all off as a tax expense so we can have a look at the Nokia Lumia 620. So Nokia are pretty well known for the cameras. They were one of the earliest companies to put a camera onto their smartphones, and things like the Nokia 7650 with, I think it was just about a VGA. We still have a VGA camera, there it is on the front. This is probably a really important thing. It's a low, mid-range or low-range handset, and it has a forward-facing camera. It is only VGA quality, but it gets the job done on video calling, and that's probably the most important thing. Back camera, it's not Carl Zeiss, it's just Nokia's plastic lens. It does pick up fingerprints and grease quite a bit, so if you've got a little lint cloth or something, it's a good idea to have that with you if you're taking a very important picture, just to take that. Otherwise all your pictures have a huge amount of lens flare and it looks a bit like a Star Trek movie. So an f2.4 lens, Steve will probably tell you what that means in the comments, 28mm, and it's only a 5 megapixel, but again, this is a low to mid-range budget handset. It doesn't have fancy pure view oversampling or low-level light assist or little motors in the lens mounted in a liquid block of pure nitrogen cooling it down to create the best lens reflection system. It's just a 5 megapixel shooter, but it's a Nokia 5 megapixel shooter. Let's be honest here, we're going to go through these samples. You'll critique them and I'll go bits that I don't like and but at the same time I'm confident in the pictures that are taken on the 620, and I know what sort of level they're going to reach. Their level is going to be higher than cameras like the HTCs. I mean, the bog standard HTC 5 megapixel is not as good as this. Simple as that, straight out the bat. We also, of course, you've got the Windows Phone 8 stuff, so you have the extra lenses, photosynth, which works but takes a fair amount of time. Your smart shoot, so you can take multiple pictures and choose the best faces out of them. That's all in there as well, but we're just literally looking at the big pictures, the pictures that come out of the lens. Right, let's move on to a daylight landscape, because this is where it does really well. There's a lot of light going on, there's lots of information coming into the lens, and it's able to process all of that. This is the Bridge and Congress in Austin, looking up. Now again, not a camera geek, so camera geeks probably would have wanted to frame the path better and have a straight line going all the way up to the Capitol building at the top end of the street. But again, this is just what I saw at the time. I thought, this is really nice. And yes, when you zoom in, it starts getting blurry and blocky, but you can tell that there's, for example, something in the lamppost. You can see quite a lot of definition in the railings on the other side of the road going all the way through. And it keeps, long things that are far away, you can still make out. Things that, of course, you can still relatively make out. I actually quite like this film. We're halfway through South by Southwest, so the sort of interactive tech conference is now over. We're now into music and film. So that means that there's less stuff done during the day, more stuff is going to happen at night. Which means lots of clubs, lots of dark rooms, not a huge amount of ambient light, some lighting coming from the stage. These are pretty tough conditions for any camera, and I'll be honest here, if I had the Lumia 920 with me, I think some of the concept pictures that I would be able to take would look pin sharp and fantastic. But I'm not, I've got a 620. So let's pick up a band, let's pick up Fort Lane, let's have a look at this picture here. Now, again, you see, I'm not a camera geek, okay? Camera geeks would probably have a camera press badge and get to be at the side of the stage and not shoot directly into the lights on the stage. And of course, the rest of the environment is incredibly dark. We just have the stage lighting going on here. And when you start zooming in, you'll see that it's quite fuzzy. We don't have a huge amount of definition on the face of the band, but you can see what's going on. And again, keep your camera steady, maybe play around with the exposure rate that you have in the setting just to open up for a little bit more light. And again, I come back to it. This is a really good picture for a memory. This is what it was like at that gig. I couldn't publish this picture professionally, but if I did, if I was a professional picturer, I would have more camera technology. I would have a more expensive camera phone. If this was the only picture of the gig though, this is a good picture to have. I've no complaints about that. I'm quite happy where that camera setting is. Now, if you're at night time and you've got a little bit more ambient light, for example, if you're outdoors at midnight, let's take this last picture here. This is a club called Six, and midnight, a little bit of street lighting. The software deals with this far better. There's a little bit more information processed. Nokia's proficiency in doing camera software actually comes out here as well. And again, you know, as a photo just after midnight of somewhere that means something to me, this is a picture that it's great on Facebook, be shared wonderfully around, put up on Flickr and all of these places as I was there. Isn't it lovely? So again, no complaints. Even, you know, and again, none of these complaints are because I'm remembering that this is a phone, it's under 150 euros. And when you buy it as a pay-as-you-go, it's probably going to be under 100 with £50 of credit taken through at the same time. It's not an expensive phone, yet it's still giving image quality that I will be happy to look back on in years. If, you know, as I said, if I really wanted to take pictures, I would have a better camera. This is the one I have, this is the one I've got. Here's the bit that really impresses me about the 620's camera though, and that's the video taking capability. Again, you know, it's dark, there's extreme noise levels, not in the picture, actually in the noise of the band. And again, you're shooting into the lights, which is not the best thing to do. And I'm super happy with that result. You know, if I had to publish that in a gig review online as a YouTube embedded video, I think that would pass muster. The sound quality is actually, that's probably the most impressive thing, because I tend to have to put earplugs on, and it's coped with that live sound remarkably well. We've seen before people recording entire concerts and things like the Lumia 920. 620 does just as good as that as well. That's editable, that's, you know, the music is clear and crisp. That's a really good result, and that's actually probably, to me, more impressive than the stills picture, the fact that this works really well as a video camera. So congratulations all round on that one. Look, let's sum this up. For its price and its place in the range of phones, the 620's camera is above average. I'm tempted, I don't know if I would say well above average. I'll leave that to people who know imagery a little bit better than me. But for me, the results I was getting were more than I expected. It does the job. More importantly, it's trustworthy. What I see on the screen when I'm going to take a picture is the picture I'm getting. There's not a huge delay. You do have to press down once for the focus and then press again to take the picture, but the sort of reproduction of dark and murky areas and light areas that I see on the screen is exactly the same as the picture. That's what I mean by trustworthy. Again, as we said before, I don't think these will ship huge amounts with SD cards in the box, so I've not got an SD card in here. We're writing to the internal memory. That HD video, about 75 meg a minute, so 250 meg per song. 1 gigabyte would give you a 4-song set from a band. As I'm bouncing around Austin now, I've got about 3.1 gigabytes left of free storage, so I could probably take 2 or 3 full sets or 10 songs from 10 bands throughout one day and get back and take it off the camera. Of course, you could still buy a micro SD card and get the extra storage, but in terms of the extra storage requirements, I've not yet found the need to get another micro SD for the sort of stuff that I'm doing, which is just personal stuff, taking pictures, taking some videos as I'm going along so I can remember it. So to sum it up, it's dead easy. It's above average. I'm really impressed with what the camera can do for me. And again, it's the same story around. The 620 is, for its price point, is an above average handset that delivers surprisingly nice results. And well, we've still got a little bit more of the diary to do, but so far I am enjoying the 620. Comments, questions, www.allaboutwindowsphone.com. Please keep them coming in. I'll be able to answer more of them in video diaries and also in the comments as well. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go back out to the music in terms of bands that I'm going to be seeing today. Houndmouth, Ruby Jane, Morvio Tessie, names that will mean nothing to you. Just the same as most people think. Lumia? What's that? Because they're American. There we go. I'm Ewan Spence, All About Windows Phone Video Diary. Thanks for watching.